G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here casting the brand new expansion for Age of Empires 4, The Sultan's Ascend. Today we have got one of the main civilizations for you, the Japanese, and one of the new variant civilizations for the Holy Roman Empire, the Order of the Dragon. So without further ado, let's get to introducing our players for the day. In the east of the map, playing in the color red as the Order of the Dragon, the Holy Roman Empire variant, it's Sass. And on the west side of the map, in the color yellow, playing as the Japanese, we've got Voldemar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We're here on Dry Arabia once again, watching these two players battle it out. These two guys are both Conqueror 3, so you can expect to see the best from them today. But keep in mind, they're still learning these new civilizations. They've had their hands on them for barely 24 hours, slowly finding their way through. We're going to start off by talking about the basics for each of these civilizations, and I'll expect that you guys are patient with me, or at least hope that you guys are patient with me if you are familiar with their mechanics, because we're going to be treating everybody here the same and assuming that nobody's got any idea about these brand new civilizations. So let's start it off over on the east side of the map with the Order of the Dragon. So these guys are the Holy Roman Empire variant. They are almost identical to the Holy Roman Empire, except for a few main differences. Number one, there is no prelate. You can see right there, there is no prelate. However, their villages are harder, better, faster, and stronger, just like Daft Punk, or for those of us less inclined, just like Kanye West. The villages cost more to build. They take longer to build, but they're also stronger, hardier, 65 health as a base, and they also gather faster. They build faster. I think they almost, do they move faster? They don't move faster, so anyway, look, you can't have it all. You can't have it all. Anyway, this civilization is very similar to the Holy Roman Empire. They've even got the same landmarks. However, the landmarks don't do the same things as what the Holy Roman Empire's landmarks do. Now, there are some exceptions. As an example, the Burgrave Palace, it doesn't do the same thing, but it's kind of similar, whereas the Minework Palace is completely different. It's still a blacksmith. It just gives you new techs. So it's not really completely different, is it? That's a good point. Anyway, so with the Minework Palace, there's a reason why Sass is going for the Minework Palace here. And that is because the Archon Chapel for the Order of the Dragon, it's terrible. Don't build it. If you build it, Drongo's going to be sad at you, sad with you, mad at you, probably all of the above. And the reason why it's terrible is you need to understand how the villager bonus works for the Order of the Dragon villages, because the way that it works is simple. Take a standard villager and then add a multiplier on top of it, 25%. That's what they've done with these villagers. So it means that if you get any upgrades, you're not multiplying the entire value, you're just multiplying the base value. So that 25% extra faster gather rate isn't affected by things like horticulture or double broadaxe. And it also means that when you go for the Archon Chapel, that you're buffing up your gather rate by a meager 10%. That's the Archon Chapel for the Order of the Dragon. It's not 40% with a prelate inside, it's only 10%. And that 10% doesn't even include the 10% on top of the extra 25% you get for having these super duper cool villagers. It's just as well as. So it means that in total, you're getting 35% gather rate. So essentially, the Holy Roman Empire is actually out-gathering you, even, I mean, with the prelate, and then once the Archon Chapel comes in, they're well and truly ahead of you. So I recommend you avoid it. Stick with the Minework Palace, which gives you those discounted technologies, allows you to research those blacksmith techs faster, and also includes a couple of unique technologies which are unique to the Order of the Dragon and are, in my opinion, the best part of this civilization. So we'll get into that in a little bit because the age up's about to come through for Sass. Let's check in over on the west side of the map and see how Voldemar's doing, though, as that age up comes through for Sass. So it looks like an early barracks has been the opening here, and it looks like we've got some Onna Bagashas coming out, also known as the Onna Bugatti, because these guys run so damn fast. 1.5 movement speed. These guys go very, very fast. You've got to go fast in this expansion pack, and you can see right now, Scout going to be running past. He's got to be careful because the Bagasha, he's quick. He'll turn around. He'll stab you. He'll stab you. You guys have seen the Futurama episode. Stab you. What's his name? Mr. Claus, is that it? And he's got the little claws. Anyway, it looks like we've got a second one coming out. Pretty standard opening here, nothing too crazy. We do see the Forge, the unique mining camp available to the Japanese. Back here, it doubles up as a blacksmith with a unique technology in it available in the Dark Age. Looks like now the Onna going to be starting to pressure villagers off the gold vein. We'll find success here. Got to be careful not to go underneath that town center. Fortunately, takes a couple of hits, walks away in time, and you can see how quick he is, able to duck in and out of that TC fire very quickly. But now we also note the farmhouse is down here as well for Voldemar. This is a unique building. Once again, it's a combination of a house and a... Oh my gosh, look at the size of that thing. Look at the size of that thing. That's not a knight you're seeing. That is not cross-eyed glasses you're wearing. That is a horseman of the Order of the Dragon. And boy, oh boy, aren't they big. Just like everything else. I don't know if you guys remember, if you guys were around when Age of Empires 4 got announced and they released the screenshots for it, but everything in the screenshots was big. Like, the units were so damn big, the scaling was way off. Anyway, I feel like that's what we've got now with the Holy Roman Empire variant Civ. Everything is big with this Civ. It kind of looks a little bit silly, but I think that that's part of it, right? Because by far, these units aesthetically look the best in the game. No question about it. But looks like Voldemar now going to start building up. It looks like we've got feudal age play coming out here. Cura Storehouse going to be slowly trickling in these farms around the landmark, adding in on the front row a second archery range. Going to be looking to pick up some early Yumi Ashigaru. And now that Bagasha, look at the Bagasha trying his best to just come in, do a little bit of a dirty dance, and say, see you later. But look at the micro coming in. Look at the range that he's able to hit from as well. Just really playing with fire. The Bagasha's going to be careful. I think he might be going down. The Horseman going to be coming in here as well, looking to seal the deal. And indeed, that's going to be all she wrote for the first of the Bagashas. But good news is, if you like Geishas and if you like Bagattis, you're going to love this next attack coming through, because we have got two of them. Now, I reckon this Horseman's going to be able to take all of these guys out if he wants to. 250 health. That's a lot of health. That is a huge amount of health here. So we'll ride on board now with Sass, see how he's doing, as we've got Gilded Archers out on the field. So the Gilded Archer, it's like a normal archer, except it's got a lot more health than your standard archer. Also has more range than your standard archer. Has the same movement speed, but also has a faster attack speed. Attacks really quickly. So this unit is... I would not be surprised if the Order of the Dragon become an archer civilization, just because of how strong their archers are. Their archers, together with their crossbows, are ludicrous. Now, let's talk about their crossbows, because at the Minework Palace, there's a very special upgrade. It's called Bodkin Bolts. It's available in Imperial Age, and it allows your crossbowmen to snipe enemy siege units. It's so cool. It's like that mangonel. It's a little bit of a problem. Yeah, well, guess what? Not anymore. Bodkin Bolts has got you covered. It's ludicrous. It's great to see, and hopefully we get to see it in action today if this game does go to Imperial. That's what I'm going to be cheering for, but you can already see Sass beginning to struggle with the unit numbers here. Don't be fooled by the lack of units he's got out on the field. Remember that these are Order of the Dragon units. They are much stronger than what they appear. I can tell you what, the first time I played against the Order of the Dragon, I was a little bit confused. I'm like, how's he killing me with no units? Well, there were units. It's mainly just, I'm just doing that for effect. There was maybe 12 units, and They just destroyed me. It was ludicrous. But anyway, we'll worry about that another day, because today we've got to worry about Sass on the defense. Archers looking to try and fight off against... Oh, look at the micro. Beautiful micro coming in from Sass up against the Yumis. Yumi's now going to fall back, and these guys have got that extra movement speed, remember, so he's going to be able to outrun the enemy position easily, and adding in more and more units. And I love the way that this game is scaling for Voldemar at this stage. Hasn't looked to go into the daimyo just yet, but I would expect that we see that shortly. He has 3 vills on stone, so it could be an option. Spears looking to head into battle right now. Keep in mind, there are horsemen on the field, so I'd be wanting to keep these spearmen alive as much as I possibly could. So a little bit of a mistake right there from Voldemar. He's got to be cognizant of these horsemen. But fortunately, they're up towards the north side of his base. He's got no idea. He's just kind of focused towards the middle. Expect to see those horsemen any second looking to pick off those units on the backside. But fortunately, he hears the siren go off and begins moving the villagers towards the Cura Storehouse. One of them will go down. Second one almost taken out. Oh my lord, the damage from these horsemen are ludicrous. Keep in mind, the Cura Storehouse can indeed store food and villagers carrying food, and villagers carrying stone. They probably just hand it in, though. I've got a sneaky suspicion they don't actually carry the stone. I mean, they did carry the stone, but I suspect it handed it in. Anyway, you guys get the picture. Another villager might go down here. Units looking to defend on the stone outcropping will be able to find success here. And now we start to see those upgrades coming in for both of these players. Wheelbarrow on the way for Sass has been successfully researched. Now looking to go into survival techniques, looking to boost that economy up a little bit, but Voldemar, he's not focused on economy. You want to know why? He's got the good stuff coming in. He's got the military upgrades. Now, one thing to note is that the Japanese have got unique upgrades. However, that isn't reflected on the UI, so they don't have access to horticulture. And they don't have access to wheelbarrow, but they do have access to this unique technology. Take a guess at this one. Takazukai? It's going to take a while. You get it? It's going to take a while for me to get all of these technologies, but it is essentially a wheelbarrow and a horticulture upgrade in one. However, it's only for berry bushes. Keep that in mind. If you want to increase the gather rate of your farms, you're going to have to do that through a little friend called the Daimyo. We'll get to that bridge. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I mean, we'll get to that bridge when we cross it, I guess you could also say. Anyway, numbers looking good here for Voldemar. Keep in mind, he has got the trash units. That's important that I state that, because it might look like he's got a lot out on the field. The reality is, it's not that much. These units only cost 65 resources. Your standard archer is 80 resources. So these bad boys are cheaper than the average bear. Compare that to his opponent, whose units literally cost double what you're used to. So you see this horseman right here? Double the cost of a horseman. That's how much you're paying for a gilded horseman. These guys are expensive, so you've got to be careful with them, but at the same time, they're quite forgiving to control, just simply because they have got that extra health for you to play with. Third horseman now, looking to join up towards the north side, and it looks like Sass may be heading towards a castle age here. He's got a number of options open to him. Of course, you've got the Burgrave, you've got the Regnitz Cathedral. Regnitz Cathedral is identical to the Holy Roman Empire one, so you can play it the same way. Keep in mind, you don't get access to the Prelate in Age 2 as the Order of the Dragon, so it's not as strong going into the Regnitz Cathedral as it is with the Holy Roman Empire. However, it can train Prelates, which are the unique priest unit or unique monk unit for the Order of the Dragon. But you do have to train them once you hit Castle Age, so you do lose a little bit of priority there. But it does look like it's going to be a Burgrave of the Palace. The brand new Burgrave is going to get dropped down. We'll focus on it in a little bit, because at the moment, we've got archers out in the middle of the map. A little bit slow, but they do pack a hefty punch here. And you can see Voldemar trying to snipe out the enemy archers. He's got the overwhelming numbers here. He's got to be careful, though. I think Sass might be in a bit of a tough spot. He's trying his best to get back in the game. We do hear that the Burgrave is slowly being ticked away at here. The question's going to be whether it comes up in time and whether he's able to save himself here. I think even if you do manage to get the Burgrave up and look to go into Men-at-Arms, you're up against Yumis, which are very quick units, and he could just look to snipe you out. And have a look at that beautiful outpost right there. I tell you what, there is no better looking outpost than that one right there. That is just such a good looking outpost. Can you get the stone upgrade for that? You can. You can fortify that. I wonder if they just fortify the legs of it. It's like battering ram can't touch me, baby. Just goes straight through the middle. My legs are wide open. Sorry. All right. Anyway, we move on. We move forward, and we talk about our Daimyo Menor, which is coming in 10 seconds. Burgrave's going to be coming up as well. And a unique upgrade for the Order of the Dragon is on the way. Now, I've been critical about this behind the scenes, and I'll be critical about it right now. I don't like this upgrade. Let's talk about this upgrade. It's called Golden Cuirass. Gilded Men-at-Arms who fall below 20% health take 20% less damage. That is not a lot. That's so for your Men-at-Arms that are 1/5 of the health bar. Once they get to that stage, they will then take 1/5 less damage. It's equivalent to 4% extra health. It's a terrible upgrade. I can't believe that. I mean, maybe I'm just not seeing it right, but I do not see how this is at all a reasonable upgrade to be getting. Like, of course, it's something. But, you know, like, +1 damage in Imperial for 6,000 resources is something as well. Is it worth it? Well, it's probably worth a little bit more than what that is. But we do see a little bit of a catch-out now coming through. It's going to be Sass losing out. Does he lose the last horseman? Indeed he does. So nice little cleanup coming there from Voldemar. And you can see the military unit difference now starting to get quite significant. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. It is the Burgrave Palace. It is the brand new Burgrave. I mentioned earlier the fact that it was different. The Regnitz identical to the Holy Roman Empire, so you'll be familiar with it. So what's different about this one? Well, this one, instead of training units 5 times faster or 4 times faster, it trains them slightly faster. However, it also trains them cheaper. So it means that the units that you're making are now costing less. And this is this is huge. And if you do go for the Burgrave in your games, you want to be making sure that it is always producing units. There is never a point once you've got the Burgrave that it stops making units. Even if you want to age up, still make the units, because these units are coming through cheap. So you need as many of them as you can. It's a really cool take on the Burgrave, 30% faster and 30% cheaper. But now, those Yumi looking to outmass his opponent. Interesting to note, no Bannerman coming through just yet. As I say that, there's the Yumi Bannerman coming in behind. A little bit of extra damage for you. How you doing? Men-at-Arms to the front, 290 health. They've got that golden cuirass on. Look, to be honest, maybe it makes the difference in these scrappy fights where you're doing low amounts of damage, right? Like, because we think about it, right? 290, what's 20% of 290? You're talking about, what? Ooh, I'm trying to do the math right now. 40 is 200. So you're looking around like 50, 57, 58, somewhere around that region. So everything below 50, once your men-at-arms reaches 58 health, nice little villager kill here. Once your men-at-arms reaches 58 health, it takes 20% less damage. And maybe that's the difference between 5 damage and 4 damage. Who knows? But to me, it just doesn't feel like it's going to be all that hot. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. On the other side of the map, the floating gate is making its way into transition for Voldemar. Villager count pretty even between these guys. 46 versus 44. Sass taking out 3 villagers so far this game. Keep in mind that the villagers for the Holy Roman, or for the Order of the Dragon rather, do take longer to train than the normal villagers of Voldemar. So I'm not sure exactly why these guys are so damn even, but now the men-at-arms on the front, you can see these guys looking to try and tank it up. Keep in mind, these guys are very, very healthy when it comes to their HP bars. It might look like, you know, you got to be scared. Don't be scared. Those men-at-arms just double the number. That's the best way to think about it. Whatever you see, double it, and that's the real strength of those units. And I think that's probably going to be the hardest part to gauge when you're playing against Order of the Dragon, just simply because you look at the army and you're like, yeah, I can take this easy. And then the reality is you get destroyed. And you're like, what the hell? And it's because these units, they don't muck around. Crossbow out on the field. I love the crossbow for the Order of the Dragon. It is by far my favorite unit that they've got access to. Longer range, 6 tiles of range, and the ability to kill siege. Oh my gosh, I tell you what, you couldn't find a better unit right now. Realistically, all it dies to is like horsemen. That's pretty much it. And I mean, technically archers as well, because the archers will cost effectively beat them, but still they're pretty damn good. And they've got, I love that range. To me, range is one of the best statistics that you can have. Range and speed are the most important stats that you can have on a unit. So I guess for realistic purposes, the Yumi is pretty good as well, because it's 5 range and it is very, very fast. So it means that melee units are going to have a difficult time to get on top of them, like the men-at-arms. But we'll check in now and see how Sass is doing as he looks to defend. He does spot this out. He's begun picking up relics. We see the first one picked up. It might be, is it in the north of the map? No, it is. It's got to be, it might be in the south of the map. But now those Yumi looking to try and find their way. The banner gets thrown down onto the ground. It's difficult to control these bannermans, the Yumi bannerman in particular. I think he's got a longer range. Yeah, 5.25 range. Might be a little bit faster as well. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but oh my god, we got a Gilded Knight out on the field. Look how big this guy is. Oh, and he's just having a field day. 400 health on this bad boy. Look at the damage, 36 damage. He says, you guys want to fight? But now you can start to see that Japanese really, that bonus really coming in. The deflective armor. So right there, instead of deflecting a normal knight, you've effectively deflected, you've deflected essentially 2 knights worth of attacks, because the Gilded Knight is like 2 knights. So the Japanese, maybe we could consider them a counter to this civilization, just simply because they are attacking harder, but not necessarily faster. And that, in my opinion, could mean that samurais are particularly strong against. But we do now start to see the Japanese building up a large number of Onna Musha. These units are a crossbow on 4 legs. Very quick units, but also only 80 health. Not a lot of health. Particularly weak against mangonels. But now pushing up the crossbows on 4 legs on Musha, trying their best. Unfortunately, they're running into a whole bunch of, well, there's some armored units down there on the north side, though. No micro coming in from Voldemar. He's got to make sure he's focusing. But he's got 2 different groups that he needs to micro, and that makes it a little bit harder. You can see now we've got some buffs coming up. That golden cuirass coming in. He's going to take slightly less damage. But lovely micro coming in. And I tell you what, Voldemar looking very solid today. He takes out the deer. He says, fuck you in particular, deer. And that was it. Look at them. They're all just standing there looking at that single deer. This deer, the stories I could tell you about this deer. This deer, Voldemar's uncle fought against this deer in the Great War. And this deer, well, let's just put it this way. Voldemar's uncle, he lost an eye. I'm sorry, Voldemar. I don't know who your uncle is. I hope that your uncle didn't actually lose an eye. Because, look, these deers are ferocious. They fight. I don't think they're venomous. They're probably not. Why would deers be venomous? These are the least venomous looking motherfuckers on the earth. Look at them. But you do have these kind of, these big things on the top. The horns. I wouldn't mess around with those. And speaking of horns right now, have a look at this. The boar on the north side. Village is going to make a run for it here. A couple of them jumping inside the outpost. As the Onna Musha are on the hunt. They are on the prowl. One of them gets taken out by the outpost. Second one under pressure as well. We can see it does a lot of damage. These guys have got such little armor, such little health. So you've got to be very careful with them. I'm curious how much they cost. I don't actually know. Goldmine's actually out on the back here. Archery range. Onna Musha, 80-60. So 80-40 for a crossbow, 80-60. So slightly more expensive for a lot more speed. I do like that. And they also have access to a unique upgrade, which they'll fire a whistling arrow when an enemy is seen, increasing their movement speed for 10 seconds. A little bit, not too expensive actually. Pretty decent. And quite quick to research. Not a bad upgrade. But now Voldemar's starting to build up that military mass. Have a look at the military numbers here for Sass. He is putting up some numbers. This is kind of wild now. And have a look. This is 16 gilded men-at-arms. And I just want to say, you don't want to mess around with these guys. This is serious power right here. They're inspired as well. +3 ranged armor on top of the 4 base that they've got. Crossbows, archers just taking out the Onna Musha from range. You can see how much health these gilded crossbows have got, 140. Oh man, this is starting to look a little bit scary. Look at the difference between these two. Sass now, where's he managing to find all of these resources to bring these units out? This is looking a bit scary. Archers, crossbows, also going to find the rest of these Onna Musha. A little bit of a raid on the backside. Scout together with the Gilded Knight. And Onna Musha just getting lit up in the center of the map here. Looks like the Gilded Knight might make it out. Siege Workshop going to come in, but look at this. Sass spots it out straight away. He's going to be able to find a counter for it if he needs it, but to be honest, you got this many men-at-arms, and they're not any men-at-arms. These are Gilded men-at-arms. It's going to be a different story. Uma Bannerman comes through. Now, one thing to note, you would think that the Bannerman, so the way that the Bannerman works, I haven't actually really spoken much about it. So the way that the Bannerman works is it buffs up units of the same type around it. So as an example, the Bannerman for the archers buffs up the archers. And that's pretty much it. But oh my lord, you gotta be careful. These units are pretty strong. We enter into the cinematic mode because one of them wants to pick a fight and the other one's got no choice about it. Sass trying his best, bring in the prelates, and oh my lord, from downtown, I don't know what it was. It was the daimyo firing off towards the center, doing his best to defend against the dark arts, but it looks like for the moment, it's going to be the samurai on the front line getting eaten alive by the gilded crossbowmen, fighting it out. Now it's crossbow v crossbow on the back line. The Onna Musha trying to take out the enemy crossbows, the gilded crossbows. Are they going to be able to do it? It looks like they are. The numbers are pretty solid. Now we see the Bannerman going to be running into battle. Keep in mind, even if he dies, he drops his banner, he still gives that buff over to all of the units around him, even though he is dead. And now the town center firing down upon all of these units on the front line. Look at the damage that it does. Keep in mind, it's single target. It looks like it's AoE. It's not. But I tell you what, he does a fair bit of damage. I think it's a rocket launcher that's technically there. He needs to keep falling back towards this because this is a barrage that you don't want to mess with. Look how fast it fires as well. You don't want to be standing anywhere near this thing when it fires. And look at that. There goes a gilded crossbowman. Does he get another shot off? He does. But it kind of vanished. I don't know. Maybe the explosive warhead was defective, it seems. Mangonel out on the field now for Voldemar. I tell you what, he is holding on by the skin of his teeth. It's not pretty right now if you're a Voldemar fan. If you're a fan of the kid, I tell you what, you might have to be heading back to the drawing board and look, tearing up your jersey. I don't know. It's not fun right now for Voldemar fans. He does have the Yoroshiros going for him from the floating gate. Let's take a look and see if we can spot them out. Typically, you're going to be able to see them from the small thing on the corner of the buildings. I don't see them. There we go. There's one. He's got one Yoroshiro in the archery range. So there's a second one in the archery range as well. So not looking to go into a investment route, you know, the bond route or the long-term stock. There we go. Siege Workshop also, you know, for the 10-second springald. Why not? So not looking to utilize them as a form of income. Instead, looking to utilize them as a form of production, which is definitely a it's a choice. I'll say that much. It's a choice. I might not agree with the choice, but look, each to their own. We're still in that stage where we're exploring, where we're still not 100% sure, and we've got an upgrade coming through. It's got a Dachi. It equips the samurai with an Odachi, not a no-dachi, an Odachi, which is a long sword that deals +4 bonus damage against infantry, and I love that bonus. That is a bonus against all infantry. Doesn't matter where you are, what you shoot, whether it's bows, whether you stab people, they still do extra damage. And now those range crossbow, the Onna Musha, looking to try and deal with this front line. The samurai also trying to help out. Feels like a last-ditch effort here for Voldemar. Now moving through those mangonel shots, just not doing enough considering the prelates here are healing it up. But look at the samurai. The samurai are holding. The samurai on the front line, trying their best to make their way through the pack. But the heals from the prelates are looking very strong. Is that a Lance Connect? Is that a Lance Connect? It's a Lance Connect. We see him out on the field. He's swinging. Swing to win. It's actually live to win, but he is swinging to win right now. You got to spin to win. Look at, oh God, he's got the upgrade. He got the upgrade. It just came through. Zornhau, it's been completed. For anybody who doesn't know what this upgrade does, oh boy, you are about to be in for a rude shock. Zornhau is a unique upgrade for the Order of the Dragon. It is available only at their mine work. It is in this slot right here. It's available in the castle. Oh, good game. We're not even going to get to explore the Zornhau. You guys are just going to be left in the dark. Exactly how Voldemar feels as the lights get turned out on his game. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out these two creators. I'll leave links in the description to where you can catch them live. And make sure you go check out Steam's Sultan Ascend expansion pack for Age of Empires 4. Go, go, go.